Shalom, 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 yashala. It's your boy, Brother Samuel, back at you with another quick edifying video. I'm not sure what the lesson is going to be called, but it kind of, this is something that my aunt put in, our little group thing that we had, and it kind of goes with what I was talking about yesterday about, the famine of the word. Right. So first and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory. I want to say, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rawchaa, Qadash. Right. That's all praises to the Heavenly Father, whose name is Yahawah, and His only begotten Son's name, who you ignorantly call Jesus, whose name is Yahawashi. Right. And the Holy Spirit, which is the Ruach HaKodesh. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, from elder apostle to Tahar on down, who have ruled well to the Spirit and have fed and edified the sheep in these last days, and has pushed this gospel and this truth to the four corners of the earth in these last days. Right. So, like I said, one of my ox put up, this article, in our little chat, and it kind of reminded me of, what I was talking about, one of the last videos was the famine of the word. How they're going to, they're trying to censor, these different apps like TikTok, YouTube. They're trying to censor what could be put out there, and they're taking people's stuff down. They're striking people's channels. They're doing all this stuff, and how they just lump sum it. They'll say, well, you're either preaching hate or it's misleading information, right? And you do misleading information. If they don't agree with the information, then guess what? Then they can just categorize it in that lump sum, to kind of get rid of it, right? So we know that, the scriptures talk about a famine of the word, right? Matter of fact, let's just get that real quick and we'll go back to it. Let's go to, this is what we brought out earlier, right? Amos, right? We're already here. 11. Amos 8 and 11, it says, behold, the days come, saith Yahawashi thy power, that I will send a famine in the land, right? Not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of Yahawashi. Right? It says, they shall wander from sea to sea, and from the north even into the east, they shall run to and fro to seek the word of Yahawashi and shall not find it. Right? Because we know that, Esau is really, he's trying to regulate, like these upper elites, they can never have enough. They want everything. Right? So just looking at this article, it says the FCC, this is from theblaze.com. This was, looks like it was November 15th. So it says the FCC is voting to seize American internet infrastructure in the name of equity, right? So it says, I just read a little bit about it, and you can read it on your own, right? Like I said, it's theblaze.com, right? But it says, when regimes capture power, it's often not in the dramatic fashion of storming of the Bastille. Instead, it's a bureaucratic takeover hidden in jargon and filled with cliches for the greater good. The Federal Communication Commission is posed to vote today on a sweeping set of new rules called Preventing Digital Discrimination Order. Right? Now, remember, this was on the 15th, so this probably already has happened, right? So it says the 200-page report recommends implementing an exhaustive array of new restrictions that will alter the internet forever. It springs from Section 60506 of the Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act of 2021. This legislation was meant to infuse some federal dollars into America's sagging internet infrastructure. Unfortunately, this vote will grant the FCC the power to control nearly every aspect of the internet infrastructure in the name of our secular gods of diversity, equity, and inclusion, right? So it basically is just to give them full control and power over the internet, And what does that mean? Now they'll regulate everything that you do, right? They don't like it, Let me read down a little bit. So it says, if approved, this would mark the first time the FCC would gain the authority to oversee various aspects of every ISP service termination policies, including customer credit usage, account history, credit check, account termination, among other related matters, right? So experts have been sounding the alarm about what this could mean for the internet freedom, right? And you got people kind of saying stuff, right? The FCC is claiming the power to control every aspect of broadband infrastructure and the industry itself. To call it extreme or radical does not do this proposal justice, right? So they have all these different things. Let's see. I wanted to go down. It says President Biden has called on the FCC to adopt new rules, breathtaking scope. Carr noted on X, formerly Twitter, those rules would give federal government a roving mandate to micromanage nearly every aspect of how the internet functions, from how ISPs allocate capital and where they build, to the service that consumers can purchase, from the profits that ISPs can realize and how they market and advertise services, to the discounts and promotions that consumers can receive. Right, so they're trying to take over this whole thing, right? And it was something else that I wanted to get. It was towards the end. Let's see. I think it was right here. So it says the one silver lining to this is that desperate impact rules they cite to justify the power grab have been struck down by the Supreme Court. It says there will be no doubt be immediate lawsuits to try to fight these rules across varying industries and government entities. A concentrated effort exists to curtail your freedom, from COVID, right, or the jump shot lockdowns, to tech censorship, expansive regulations, gun laws, and the jailing of political dissidents. And the underlying results is curtailing your freedoms. It says the regime knows a free internet is one of the last tools the American people have left, which is why it tries to control it at every turn. Right? Now let's get that right. It says the regime knows a free internet is one of the last tools the American people have left, which is why it tries to control it at every turn. Right? So this is, another aspect of how, these elites, these top banking people, they want full control of everything. Right? And we know that all these roads, eventually lead to, when they're regulating all that, right? It's going to lead to you're going to have the famine of the word, because you're not going to be able to, they're going to regulate what you can say and how you can say it, right? So, you have this famine of the word, right? But also, we know, we brought this up yesterday too, that this is leading to, Revelation 13 and 16, right? Because, ultimately you're going to need the internet in order to do these purchases, right? Because everything's going to be digitally, transaction. All this stuff is going to be, and it needs the internet, in order to function and run correctly, right? And I brought out a lesson, I believe, maybe last week or the week before, about in Australia when their one of their major internets went down, and people couldn't. They're transitioning into a digital currency, and they couldn't buy. They couldn't sell. They couldn't do anything. Everything was shut down, right? Because the internet was shut down, right? But it says, Revelation 13:16, and he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in the right hand or in their forehead, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name, right? So let's get to the point where, guess what? You're not even going to have the internet, right? You're you're not going to be able to have internet, if they don't want you to, if you're not part of this, if you don't go with this system, that guess what? They're going to cut all that off, right? They're going to restrict what you can watch. They're going to restrict what you can put out, right? All these things are going to be, controlled and regulated, right? Because guess what? This man, right? You saw he wants to be like the Most High, right? Let's get this, right? Let's go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 14. And let's start at the point, verse 13. It says, and this is talking about the king of Babylon, right? So it says, verse 13, it says, "For thou hast said in thy heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of the heavenly Father." Right? This is how Esau does, right? Esau sets up his little, space station up, in the heavens, right? "I will also sit upon the mount of the congregation and in the sides of the north. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds. I will be like the Most High," right? That's what these folks, ultimately, they want to be like the Most High, right? They want to be, and that's why they want to control and do everything, because they know that the Lord is over everything, right? The heavens and earth and everything in beneath is Yahawah Bahasham, right? But these people, they want to be just like that, right? And they how they do it, they got to try to take everything, right? Matter of fact, let's see. They want to push this one world order, right? They're pushing to have this one world order where everybody is going to, follow them, right? Let's get the book of Micah, chapter 2, and start at verse number 1, right? It says, "Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is lit, they practice it, because it is in their power of their hand," right? And this is what they do, right? They secretly, and they do these, they think of these wicked things to do, of how they can control the people, right? And they try to do it secretly behind everybody's back while nobody's paying attention, right? They was getting ready for their little folly day, probably doing other things. And what do they do? While that's happening, they sign their little, the government's going to shut down. They'll do all that stuff, and then they'll sign these other things while everybody's concentrated on that. It says, "And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away, so that they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage." Right? This is how they are. This is their thought, right? This is what they do, right? So what more, a man and his heritage and everything that he owns, ultimately, right? So they want to regulate and do everything. They want to have, they call it Big Brother. Big Brother wants his eyes on everything and every aspects of what you're doing, right? So they can regulate, pricing, this, that, and the other. So this is what, is happening, right? While people are just being oblivious and doing these other things, they're trying to, make this one world government where everybody's together, because they want to gather everybody together, right? What is that? The book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, and we'll start at verse number 4. Right? It says, "Behold, his soul, which is lifted up, is not upright in him." Right? He's crooked, man. It says, "But the just shall live by faith." Right? And the scriptures tell you, that Yahawah Shemashai has made crooked, who can make straight? Right? He's made these people to be the wicked, to be crooked, to be, not upright, and it's nothing, that's who he's made them to be. Okay. But it says, "But the just shall live by faith," right? And that's, a true statement. We got to live by faith of Yahawah Shemashai, that he's going to deliver us through this madman and his plan. Like what is that old cartoon Pinky and the Brain, man, to take over the world, man. That's their whole mindset. Okay. It says, yea, also because he transgressed by wine, he is a proud man, right? All his philosophies and all his things that he does. It says, neither keepeth at home, right? It says, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people, right? And he basically forces you to be with him. You know what I mean? That's his whole thing, right? These other nations, they don't want to be with him, but he'll force them by legislations, by doing these different things that you got to deal with them, right? And that's what ultimately this is all going into, where you can regulate, the internet, and ultimately where they can set up the MOTB, right? So that guess what? You're gonna have to go to them in order to buy, sell, and do everything, and do all these different actions, man. Right? So all these things, the roads all lead to the MOTB at the end of the day, right? That might be the title of it, But like I say, just reading this article, he's, just everything he's doing is to basically take over and try to, have full control over everything and what everybody does. Okay. So, and they're doing this, and they do these things, quietly, where people are not paying attention, right? And that's why the scriptures tell you what. Let's get this one I always bring out. Luke chapter 21 and verse number 36. And it says, watch ye therefore and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, right? Because guess what? He's going to put those vice grips on people, right? And that with that temptation, because you're not going to be able to do anything and move in his society unless you conform to his thing and you get that MOTB, right? And he's going to slowly kind of just compress you, and that's starting off with the internet, these different things. He's gonna use these different things to try to control you, So that's why it says the just shall live by faith, man, because that's what we have, But it says, watch ye therefore and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man, right? And that's ultimately what what we want to do, man, right? That's what our faith, is all about, is wanting to be able to stand in front of the face of Yahawashi, and see his coming, and guess what? And get beamed up into them chariots, man, and delivered from this wicked place, man. That all they do is oppress, and kill, man, right? So, Lord's will, this was edifying, right? I want to give all praises, honor, and glory. I want to say, Halal, Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rawchaa, Qadash. Peace and blessings to the 12 tribes scattered abroad, and mighty shalom to the elect, right? To the 144,000, 12,000 men from each tribe, and to the rest of the elect. Stay strong, stay diligent, stay focused. Keep praying for one another, and keep watching. Okay? And with that, I want to say, shalom.